are you there? It's only for setting me up, basically, because I think I saw some really nice hooks to connect to. And the first one is starting to acknowledge my team, because all the work I will present wouldn't be there without the team, with all the partners that we contributed, co-created, co-developed our tools with. So talking about team effort, this definitely is a team effort. And I'm just there to, I don't know, to present this, but it's their work, so that's important to mention. So as already said, we are trying to become an engaged university. So taking down the ivory tower and becoming part of the square that's only talked about. And why are we doing that? Well, there are so many and vast challenges that society has to deal with right now. And to solve them or to contribute to the solution, we have to change our academic environment. We need other teams, and within the teams, we need other type of people with a diverse skill set to make this happen. As Erasmus University, we are trying to do so, but that definitely requires also a different academic culture. Not only a research culture, but the broader academic culture. Already in our previous strategic period, this was one of the biggest focus. And within that strategic period, which ran between 2020 and 2024, the focus was on creating positive societal impact. I think, and I still believe that's a very firm statement, and you see that now it transitions a bit in becoming a more engaged university in which we try to contribute to solving societal challenges. But within the previous strategic period, two strategic initiatives were started. One of them was recognition and rewards, also based on the position paper. The other one was a program called Evaluating Societal Impact. And with both programs, of course, we talked to the management of the school. So we had the top-down activities. We contributed to policy renewal, but we also spent quite a lot of our capacity and effort on enabling academics themselves and leaders and, well, whoever is open to change, to make this change. So, and therefore we developed a lot of tools. And I want to take you through some of these tools. Will you fully understand them? Probably not, but I hope that I can create a spark, and that after today you might think like, oh, that was really something that triggered me, I'm gonna look it up. All the tools are open access available, so use whatever you want to use, translate it to whatever you want to translate it. It's there to be used by whoever wants to. I will start with the work of the Evaluating Societal Impact team. As I said, it was a strategic initiative, and what we really did was offering practical and hands-on support for defining impact ambitions, activities, and the governance surrounding impact and engagement, grounded in literature, and really departing from best practices from all across the world. And what we did a lot is co-creating resources and tools with and for the community, and to strengthen the impact efforts in the core areas of academic work, namely research, education, and engagement. So these are some of our activities. So for example, with the organization, we try to define what is societal impact from the perspective of the UR and taken the regional developments into account. Is it a perfect starting point? No, but at least it opened up the conversation to talk with each other. What do we think when we talk about impact? And it also showed the differences between the disciplines and the different schools at our university on how they approach impact, which really also influences, for example, the development in relation to recognition and rewards. One other thing is, as I already mentioned, is that we developed an impact toolbox, including a whole bunch of tools that are supportive in the process of thinking about impact in a more structured way across different phases of the process, but also at different levels of the organization. One of these tools is the Journey of Progress. It's a card set based on theory of change, really developed to help groups, teams, projects, whoever thinks it's beneficial to think about and reflect about their impact ambition. And of course, theory of change in itself is not new, but so far, if you wanted to develop a full theory of change, it can easily take 2 days, and many people didn't see the benefit. It takes a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but what does it bring me? Then we thought, okay, let's come up with a 1-hour workshop that gives the first opportunity to have this conversation and really show the benefit of having this conversation on what is our shared ambition and how do we think we can get there. And it was very successful, so it helped many groups already to have this conversation. And from there, it also helps groups to think about monitoring and evaluation. And also it can support strategic personnel planning. So that's a connection to what Sonny said as well. If you know what the goals are, you can also think on what team do I need? What people need to be in there? So even in our own team, we use it to think, okay, what are our ambitions for this year? How do we think we can get there? And who has the skills and talents to take up what kind of activities? So it's a really nice thing to do. Another one that I want to pick out is, well, it relates to the narratives. And indeed, we try to work with more qualitative narratives at different places. So, for example, we changed the yearly appraisal conversations. They now are more narrative-based. But also, if a team or an organization or a unit wants to describe what they did, how they did it, with whom they did it, and what the impact is that they created, we developed a very simple video-guided worksheet that can help them to write their impact narrative, including referring to who did what and what was the team effort in there. And I think the nice thing about both of these tools is that they are also often used outside of our organization. So we get many requests of external organizations that are really helped with these kind of tools as well. And then recognition and rewards. As all the other knowledge institutes, we are also participating in the program already since 2020. And the team that we have within EOR is offering support, advice, and practical and hands-on support to the schools and the services for further developing, implementing, and realizing recognition and rewards at the central and the decentral level. And also there, we decided to develop a set of tools that hopefully can help people or trigger people to think about these changes, maybe from the blue line instead of from the orange line. Of course, we had to start somewhere. So the first step was related to policy development with the organization, in which we had conversations with all the schools on what we think is a nice translation of the national program and also the position paper to the context of EOR. But of course, we also need to make it more concrete. So, for example, last year we took another step in making it more concrete by defining what kind of career path or a diverse set of activities should be available at all schools for the level starting from assistant professor. With that, we seem to include the early career academics, and for quite a long time this was definitely a group that we did not pay a lot of attention to, but also for these groups the conversations are starting, like what is a good promotion trajectory, what are the set of activities that can be taken by them. Defining together what we aim for is, of course, not enough. So we also, for example, developed a tool that can help the HR business partners of the schools, who are often assigned with the, no, not assigned, like, responsible or, responsible for implementing or developing recognition and rewards, but they often didn't know how to do it. So we came up with a journey, including a stepwise approach, and also a set of workshops in which they can use a bottom-up approach to have conversations with the academics on how they think the diverse career path should look like. And also these materials are available, and we applied them in several schools, always taking the context of the school into account, so they are easily adjustable. I'm wondering how much time I have. 2 more minutes, okay. Then I will skip this, and I will go to this. So, again, related to the teamwork, not everyone, so I agree with Sanli that strategic personnel planning is a very important instrument to foster diverse career path and also teamwork. But many supervisors don't know how to start with it or how to approach it. So upon request of one of our schools, we developed a workshop format called Unlock Your Team Potential, in which the supervisors are grouped, and with 4 or 5 of them, they are representing the manager of a team. And they have like cards which are persona-based, but of course quite realistic. And then they get an assignment to distribute to people across the responsibilities that they have as a team, based on the goals that they have. And then they have to figure out, okay, how are we gonna distribute all the activities? Who has what kind of talents? How can people be complementary to each other? Who can mentor another early career academic? And then in between, we also give them some challenge cards, because suddenly something can happen that can mix up your whole team composition, team interaction. And we see that this really triggered a good conversation between the supervisors, and that they really realized, like, oh, this is a different way of thinking, and yeah, it can be very beneficial to approach it like this. And then it can also allow for changes over time, not only vertical, like being promoted, but also horizontal development, because someone has certain skills or ambitions. Does this work? Yeah, I think it works. I really think it enables and empowers also academics themselves to contribute to culture change. Because yes, leadership has a very important role, but I think culture is created by all of us. So I hope that our tools really enables the academics themselves as well to contribute to this change. Looking back 6 years, I do see change happening, but it's slow. And you need to be perseverance. But we also see more and more positive responses, for example, on the narrative approach for the yearly conversations. Now academics really say, oh, I really have a different conversation with my supervisors, in which there's much more room for development and what I can bring to the team and vice versa. Also, I see a much stronger focus on strategic personnel planning, which is then in line with the faculty and the department goals. So that's, I think, a very nice and important development going on. And in itself, the attention for team dynamic and composition and individual balance with individual talents is increasing. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. It's, I think, one way to contribute to change. I see that in our organization also the international dynamics are very important. And I think it's really a challenge to bring together bottom-up movements and top-down commitment.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.